Well, welcome back from that interlude there. We had a program, the NDDCNU, a magazine program that talks about the activities of the interventionist agency around your locality. And of course, I was followed by one or two songs just to spice up the entire atmosphere and make it good enough for us to kickstart the conversation in earnest. It's just 4 minutes gone past there of 9, and I welcome you on board the flight as we take the flight gradually to the descent, which will be around 10 o'clock. As usual, Wednesdays, our focus is mainly on issues in and around the Akwa Ibom state, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I have with me to discuss the issues here in Akwa Ibom the State Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Project. Utricom Network, I beg your pardon. Utricom Franklin Isong. Utricom, good morning to you. Great to have you.
I can agree that you had a very short time in bed. You didn't sleep well. Good morning. Good to be with you this morning. And good morning, listeners.
Utricom, the last time we were here, we talked about a few things bordering on what's affecting Akwa Ibom. We talked about the state of roads. We talked about the state of refuse, which we now said we've seen improvements. Most of the refuse that leads to a lot of these areas are being evacuated. Let's pick up the conversation first from road, and then we'll talk about any other matter of concern, as long as it bothers mainly on Akwa Ibom. How far with what you've observed, the road update? When was the last time you were about town, checking some of those places that you've seen potholes and whatnot? Have you seen any improvement? Have they been fixed?
Well, I said last Wednesday, the governor of Akwa Ibom State is very aggressive in ensuring that he delivers good governance in the state. He goes about commissioning road projects in the rural areas and the urban cities. He had commissioned a over 10-kilometer road in Parendin, and commissioned one in Ikorekbene, another one in Oron, spreading the road project across the state, completing the one that was initiated by his predecessor. This is what continuity is all about. Now, having said this, you recall that on Wednesday last week, I told you that I'll be leaving this your studio to embark on a tour along Ipa Road, Itu Road, and Odoite. I did that. Why do I do this updates? It's because our duty is to hold government accountable. Our duty is to call out the government to do what they ought to do and what they have promised us that they will do. Without the civil society groups, without the media, the government will not be able to deliver dividends of democracy, and democracy will not be at work and will not be in action. So what we do, we are a component part of democracy and component part of government. That is why the media is described as the fourth estate of the realm, and then the CSO, the civil society group, are the ones that would police activities of government, working hand in hand with the media. So what we do here is not a witch hunt. What we do here is not because we don't like the face of whoever that we are calling out here, but it's because we want the government to do what they should do for the benefit of the generality of the public. Now, Wednesday last week, I took my men, my team, with the press. We went to Ipa Road. We saw how dilapidated and deplorable the Ipa Road is. We went to Udoite. We went to Itu Road. And then these areas were cut off completely. We had to even go down to the Uyo Village Road. And then we saw that, though the government has awarded contract for the Uyo Village Road to be constructed, nothing was seen. We did not even see the contractors on site. No equipment, no sign. As at last week, Wednesday, I'm saying this, I'm putting a date to it in case anyone would doubt. They can now say that Wednesday they were there and we produce our evidence. That being said, I also mentioned here that information available to us indicated that the government had released over 90 million naira to fix potholes from Abak Road to Mechanic Village. I took my men, we went around counting potholes. We saw 17 potholes from Abak Road, Plaza, down to Mechanic Village. We counted 17 potholes, no sign of anything being done. If the money was actually released, it was released to who? And why has potholes not been fixed? And the potholes we saw were minor. what you can call minor. Minor in the sense that they are not too, if you quantify all the potholes that we counted, 17 of them, they are not up to 1 meter, do I call it 100-meter stretch to have consumed 90 million naira. That's my own estimation. So that is the question we are asking. If actually that the money was released and nothing has been done, as we said here, and we expect that the authorities concerned should call in and dispute our facts. That's being said. Now, today, because people seem to see us as coming here to, just to talk, I had to take my men throughout the week. We'll be around the state, moving around, combing the entire Uyo metropolis, looking for potholes. You call me Operation Potholes Counter, if you like. I want to call me. But the truth remains that we are doing this because we expect the government to succeed. And so I want to bring you over 60 streets and roads in Uyo metropolis that are ridden with potholes that needed attention or need attention of government. I will start with.
By all means, go ahead.
I will start with number 1. When I mention it, you can count it. Number 1, we can afford Street, Obiemo.
Can afford how many potholes did you count that?
No. I don't. No. I'm just counting. I'm just telling you where we have seen potholes.
Okay.
Because if I'm here to count the numbers, then we'll do this program for like a week. So let me just tell you, potholes is seen in Okanafort. And if you want to ask me location, I will tell you. If you drive to where you have the college, there is a federal government college there, somewhere there. Even entering from the Accra Road through Barfield, the approach, what in technical terms you can call the bell maps, is completely cut off. While trying to drive through, I had my exhaust, encountered a very big, sound. We had to go back and look for a way to maneuver, to climb from Accra Road, entering Okanafort, down to the end of Okanafort. Potholes are ridden. So let me not begin to mention the number of potholes. If not, we won't live here today. Now we have potholes in Okanafort Street. We have potholes that is number 1. Number 2, Obiemo Street, Aka Itiam Street, number 3. Number 4, Edidekpan Avenue, Mbiabong Timber Market Road, Osongoma Road, internal roads off Abak Road and off Nepal Line, Umorin Street, Ekpenyong Street, Udoikan Lane, Ekbobot Street, Gip Street, Udo Street, Udok Street, Akpanesien Street, Port Harcourt Street, they are within Uyo metropolis, Okokon Etuk Street, Akpabio Street, Utang Street, Ewethausen Street. Now, Ewethausen now let me now tell you that in Ewethausen we have several roads. In order to place my facts, we have potholes in Ben Udo, where you have the former road safety former road safety building. We have potholes, that is 1. 2, we have potholes in F line, we have potholes in D line, we have potholes in B line, we have pothole in C line by Akrima itself, by the agency that ought to fix potholes. Even within their premises, their surrounding, we have potholes. F, Lagos Street, and etc. These are within a Ewethausen and its environment. Then, number 21, we have potholes in Sivanus Okon Avenue. We have potholes in Back Road. We have potholes in Aka Etinan Road. We have potholes in Aka Atan Road. We have potholes in Aka Etinan Bypass. We have potholes in Jubilee School Road. This off Nepal Line. We have potholes in Econo Street. We have potholes in Itiam Street. We have potholes in Zentap Street. We have potholes in Calabar Street. These are all off Okanafort. We have potholes in Nepal Line. We have potholes in Kevin Lane. We have potholes in Inam Etokpan Street. We have potholes in Udoma by House of Assembly U-turn. That U-turn, the potholes eating into the road now. We have potholes in Abak Road. That is from the plaza down to Mechanic Village that they said it has been awarded, quarter has been awarded. Potholes, I told you 17 potholes we are seen. We have potholes on Abak Road from the Samson Uraidium Ring Road 1. That's one about from the roundabout there, you will see a big ditch before you approach Federal Secretariat. Shortly after that roundabout, something already roundabout by a back road. You have potholes, taking it down to the Economic flyover. You have potholes up to where you have where you have the Federal University of Health Hospital. You have potholes. Babangida Avenue. What they are doing there today is haphazardly done. They are trying to patch potholes in Babangida Avenue, that is IBB, but they are doing it haphazardly, not done properly. I don't know why they are doing it in a haste. Then in Sika Walk, I told you that I saw them doing potholes, but what they are doing is also haphazardly done. Let me not call who is doing it, but the government should know who they have given the contract to do these potholes in Babangida Avenue and Sika Walk. They are done haphazardly. Oron Road by Uran Street. I told you last week that the manhole between Oron Road and Uran Street, they have filled the manhole with asphalt. Now leaving the water that should empty into it, that would drain down to Mwaiba to now float in that area, and that will now make any car that is coming there to skid. So that is also haphazardly done. Mwaiba from Anwa Hospital to where you have Lucky Filling Station in Urban. That's all the station. Mwaiba takes you down to the Mwaiba beach. From the hospital and Anwa Hospital down to where you have Lucky Filling Station, you have potholes. Goodluck Jonathan Boulevard, you have potholes that are coming now in the middle of the road. I told you that my car tire busted because I drove into the pothole around 6 p.m. unknown that there was a pothole even on the federal highway. On the highway rather, not federal highway. On the highway that was just done by the past government. There are potholes now. Mberebe Junction to Ikorekam Junction in 18. And Mberebe is just by that, when you are coming from a car 18, and the end of it, you have Mberebe Junction. Now when you cross over that junction, you have the market. Down to where you have the Navy base, down to where you have Ikorekam U-turn. There are potholes. Now, then internal roads in Abak Federal Housing Estate, just here, you see all the internal roads have become potholes ridden. The Belmat, what you call approaches, that approach that will lead to Akbaube Street from Samson Radium Ring Road 1. That approach, as you're entering what you can call Belma in technical terms, is called approach. If you enter that from there to enter the Akbaube Street, you have a very big ditch. Now, it's not only that. There is also all the approaches, all the Belmouth from in the Ring Road to, that is from Akar Nodo Road to Oron Road. All the approaches, all the Belmouth are abandoned. I've been saying this before. Same thing, all the approaches in Ring Road 3, that is from Oron Road to Mwaneba. All the approaches are abandoned. Now, my take is that I had engaged the contractors that handled those Ring Road before now. And I had told them that there is need to fix those approaches, those belt mats, because abandoning those belt mats will lead to the road that you are building to easily get spoiled. Now, even if it wasn't in the contract, it wasn't in the belt mat, what you should do as a contractor is to ask the government to give you additional, works, approved works for you to go and fix. Most of these approaches are not even up to, are not even what could take you up to 100,000 naira to fix with asphalt. But they have been abandoned. Now go and see it now. Over 18 months into the new government, those ring roads, all those approaches have now eaten into the ring road, and they are now, destroying the ring road, because once it rains, that gap that you leave, instead of joining that ring road with the approaches, with the adjoining roads, that gap that you leave now have now become a challenge to the road that has been done by the government. So my take had always been the contractors handling the job should have asked for government to award another contract for them to complete, to link up all those approaches. Timber Market Road from to AKTC Park. Have you been to the old AKTC Park where you have Nasarawa Market? Where this is, go on that axis. Terrible. The old go on that axis and see the whole of that axis are completely unmotorable, deplorable. Now roads around the old and new AKTC park. You know, there is now new AKTC park. Same thing, you don't have access to it. Whether you're passing through the highway or you're passing through the Itam axis, you don't have access to the old and new AKTC park. Now, the internal roads within the old AKTC park. Now, Obongota was very, how do I call it, was very intentional when he built parks across the states. And he asked that all the illegal loading parks should move to these parks that was built. One along the Tam, one along the Nomudo, one along the Mbiabong axis. Now these parks have been abandoned. But they are still being used. They are still being used by the local government. Now, but the internal roads inside these parks are completely deplorable. But they are still being put to use by those who are doing business there. So those parks are abandoned. Now, Ekpa Road also is deplorable. Doite Road is deplorable. Itu Road is deplorable. Your Village Road is deplorable. Tabanaku Road is deplorable. Nwetonku to Ibiakuruan, the whole of that stretch is unmotorable. Next, Mandela Road is also, a no-go area. Itam Police Station Road, all the axes and its environment, where you have Itam Police Station, go and see it. It is unmotorable. CCC Road off Ekpa Road is completely deplorable. SONA Street in Abak Federal Housing is deplorable. Silas Udo in Abak Federal Housing is deplorable. And that is number 61 street that I have carefully with my team went around, put fuel in my car, drove around with my team to count all these streets, hoping that the government will respond, because we are having a responsive government. They will respond by fixing these potholes. Now, if the government is fixing potholes in Zika Edward, we're raising complaint. Fixing pothole in Bagila Avenue, we're raising complaint. The government should return to drawing board and know who is doing this project. What is happening to the Ministry of Works and the agreement that ought to fix potholes? That is why even the doorstep of Akrima, the road leading to Akrima, the doorstep, you have potholes. What a crying shame. I'm saying this because I am so worried that whilst the governor is doing his best to succeed, his team, his agencies under him are not doing what they ought to do to complement his effort. That is why I have come carefully to name this street, open the call line, let people call into fault if any of these streets are not found with potholes.
When you, excuse me please, when you went to do the survey that you did, that was sometime last week. Was it this week?
Last week Wednesday.
Last week Wednesday. Have you been around some of the places you mentioned to know if work has started there or if work has been completed in those areas?
That is why I said, up till this morning, Ekpa Road is the community where you have the student community, if you like. Open the call line. Let anybody call and say, today work is good. I've listed these streets, 61 of them. I want when you open the call line, someone should call in and say, this particular street is not among. We have, our own potholes have been fixed, or it wasn't even reading with potholes. I want to be faulted for once. Because when we do this thing, we're not doing it because we are wanting anybody. We want the government to succeed. Our duty is to hold government accountable and its agencies and officials. If the governor is trying his best to succeed, to deliver good governance and give us projects, and his agencies are not doing what they ought to do to complement his effort, there's something is wrong. That is why I say, if the government has awarded contract to fix pothole in Babangida Avenue and things like that, yet they are doing it, and even in Oro Road by Uran Street, we are having that what is done there is being done in a half-assed manner. Then the government should sit back and question, because in the 2024 budget, funds have been allocated to these agencies. Ministry of Work has its own. Akurima has its own. Akurima is supposed to be the one maintaining roads. They have their plant yard at Airport Road. They have fixed their equipment. Why are they not working? I don't want to call for the scrapping of Akurima, but I want to say that Akurima is sleeping. What is the issue with the agency that ought to fix road? You have over 61 roads I have just named. If they are to enter the roads that and start fixing potholes, they will be doing aggressively. Government can award contract, but the agency that want to do their job should do their job. so as to fasten this exercise. You award contract to a company, and up to today, I just mentioned the one they said that gave from Plaza, a back road Plaza to Mechanic Village up to now, we have 17 potholes. So what is the issue? Why is it difficult for the agencies responsible to do their job? That's why I'm here shouting.
Okay, side-by-side roads is also very important to have the lights. Have you also observed the state of the street lights? Has there been any improvement in that area as well?
It is the same agency. If you see the mandate establishing CHRAN, same agency is supposed to fix street light and traffic light. It's the same thing. Same thing. Go through, enter through. The only place you have street light on is the highway, that is the airport road. It's only when you drive through the airport that you now feel that you are in Akwa Ibom. Beyond the airport road, go through and see. All the street lights that we have been in dark. And the question is, what is happening? And we are planning for 2025 budget, and CHRAN will be given another allocation. What is the issue? If the agency has no people manning it, if the agency is not doing their job, then the agency should be scrapped. If the government doesn't feel comfortable working with the agency, then the agency should be scrapped. They are allowing the agency to be there, drawing funds, and not doing their job.
Also, while you were mentioning the road, I was thinking that you mentioned that road from Oron Road linking to 4 lanes, that where you had that NEPA office before. That
is why I have mentioned. I didn't want to mention.
There's a big ditch.
I didn't want to mention. I mentioned here. He is here in my list. Avenue. I don't want the service lane.
Road to the service lane.
Where you have up to where you have the Emirate Event Center, down to where you have. I know all that.
It's a very big ditch.
I didn't want to mention.
You have to go and pass streets.
I didn't want to mention particularly service lane. I just mentioned Avenue. The only place you have pothole is the service lane of both flank.
That's
it. Both flank.
Service lanes, yes.
So let me not mention service lane. Just mention their Let them go and check pothole that we have, like you mentioned, from where you have the traffic light entering there down to
immediately just past the radio station. Immediately you pass that radio
station. From traffic light.
You see the big ditch.
From traffic.
From that point.
From the
potholes.
From the traffic light down to where you have the former PHECD office. Former. Down to where you have the Emerald Event Center. Down to where you have former PDP Secretariat. Where you have the Redeemed Church is also there. You have name all those areas. Those are all service lanes that lead you straight to the empty at Mwaniba.
Yes.
Same thing. The other side of the lane.
Yeah.
The other side of the lane have long been abandoned. We are now being using the speed lane for it. So that is why I said Erekwan Avenue. They know that the only place we have potholes is on the service lane. They should go and fix it. If someone is not competent to do his job, then he has no business being there. If the ministry is not doing the job, the ministry should be scrapped. If the government chooses to work with contractors, then scrap Ministry of Work, scrap CHRAN. Then we know that you are dealing with contractors that are not fixing roads. Simply put, because this ministry is drawing interest, is drawing their capital fund for capital project and fund for recurrent expenditure every year, as well as CHRAN. If they're not doing their job and the government feel comfortable working with contractors, then scrap them. Then move those who are there to other ministries. That way you manage the cost of governance than having a ministry that is not doing its job. Likewise, agency. So I took time because the governor may not be aware. I repeat again. Governor may not be aware. So I could excuse the governor for not being aware. What we are doing now is to let him know that this is what is happening under his nose. It wasn't so in the past government. Why is it happening now? During Akpabio's government, it wasn't so. During those government, it wasn't so. Why is it so in his own government? Something is wrong. That is why he ought to now call the men who are responsible to these ministries and agencies and ask them what is happening there. Because before you know it, they will be asking for more funds. The government said they have budget of 2024 has performed 25%, over 100. And I said, for me, it is not enough. It is almost like a failed in terms of mark. It's like a failed score. Over 100, you perform 25, then you return over 500 billion back to the coffer. Why don't you send the money out and do this job? So it's either the agency is not doing their job or something is wrong. I leave it to the governor and to his cabinet to make a review. They went for a retreat last week in Lagos. Part of what they should do is to begin to ask for scorecard of the ministries and agencies and look at how they are performing. If they do that, they would have known that these ministries are not doing their job. Go to Secretariat and see that you will see grass overgrown the entire premises of the state Secretariat. Have you seen, within and without, along the Bobengida Avenue, what you can call state Secretariat have been overgrown by weed? You know why? Because the commissioners are not going to work. Those who ought to be in the ministries are not there. You only have the civil servants who are, their normal attitude. It's a government work. They will report to duty by 11 o'clock. By 2, they are already around selling their wrapper, selling moi moi and akara to make up for the minimum wage. And before you know it, they are gone. That is what it is. The secretariat has now been overgrown by weed. What is happening within the government of Pastor Umano, who is trying his best, which is good agenda to give us governance? Something is wrong. You need to call his men and ask why these things are happening under his nose. The issue of refuse, of course, they are not still prompt. They are not yet still prompt. Let me even shock you. I went to Ikorabasi. That was I think 2 days ago. On my way back, my brother, I was surprised. While the vehicle that was in my front, they bought what is it called? They bought snacks. They were eating. I think it was a security vehicle. They were throwing out the sachet. They were throwing out the waste from their car as they are driving. They are blaring siren and they are throwing out can of drink that they drank in the car. They are throwing it on the highway. They are throwing away the sachet, the packet of the snacks that they bought. And these were thrown. So even the attitude of our citizens are also called to question. While we are blaming the ASEMA for not being prompt in evacuating waste, we also call on our citizens to also be responsible. Such kind of attitude shouldn't be seen, that you are in a vehicle. Why don't you keep the waste in your car? That's what I do. Keep the waste in your car. When you are done, you empty it in the waste in the waste close to you as you are going, then throw it on the highway. So whilst we are calling on ASEMA to be prompt in evacuating waste, we also call on our citizens to be responsible in their attitude towards waste disposal. All right, so let's bring you into the conversation. You already know, once we talk about this issue, 62, is that what you counted? 62? Or do I count? Is it 62? 62. Aha. Potholes. That's a lot of job you've done. No, 62 streets ridden with potholes. 62 streets within the metropolis ridden with potholes. And that's a lot of fuel that you burned. Of course, I have to do it to get this thing. And the question will be, who is bankrolling? Well, you took it off. Even if you tell us who's bankrolling. So the question will be, who is bankrolling? Now the question is that who lives in all these streets? The passion to get things done rightly is what is driving us to do these things. I use my money to fuel my car to do all these things. I can tell you how much I spend, which is not for this discussion. But I tell you that I'm not feeling the pains for doing what I'm doing, because I know that the governor will respond by fixing these potholes, and those who are living there will now enjoy the dividend of democracy. And that's a very good one there. 0906 000 4945. 0906 000 5945. Messages 0906 000 9455. These are the numbers for you to connect with us live. And of course on our Facebook, Passion 94.5 FM. Leave your comments there. If the lines get too busy, I'll acknowledge and of course read your messages as well as the message platform here, 0906 000 9455. Let's find out who's here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Captain.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
That is calling from Oyo.
Go ahead.
I want to, there is one particular
Still
section
no,
of the agenda mentioned that
Still
some
no.
contractors where you give the work to, especially in a place where there is a journal road. We have a situation here in our road where one BT as a best secretary service company do a road that was from traffic light junction to Orepa. So there is a particular section of that particular road where there is adjustment. Because the contractor said that the government is not giving them that particular place to work. Just a small portion of it, they leave it there. And that, the road line is saving us from that place. And this is causing a very big issue, that particular section of that road. Instead of them to complete that section and ask government for compensation, they did not do it. And that road is spoiled from that particular place. But I want to use this opportunity again to build that company, to come and remove their truck from that particular traffic high junction. When they use that truck to block road, that place is causing a very big traffic, especially towards evening time like this. And also towards that road again by school church road junction. They use the two trucks and block many sections of roads. So you know that the parties that play, especially only to get people back.
All right. Okay.
Even those two trucks for that road. Those people who do not understand what they're doing. Since how many more times they free that road?
All right. Wrap it up, sir. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's bring a caller that's been standing by on. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good Captain. I can still remain comrade at Kamba Hour.
Comrade, you're welcome. Go ahead.
First of all, let me thank good Tweko. I know Tweko very well. This is my able comrade.
Thank you. Good morning, comrade.
The watchdog and the gatekeeper.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, let me tell you the truth. They don't want to hear the truth, but I'm saying, how can somebody be a commissioner for 8 years? What is he doing here? Let me interpret. When there is no whatsoever is staying too long in the mouth.
It becomes water. Mm-hmm.
When they are stayed there, they are erected. In fact, the only solution to this thing, sir, is let's have new hands. People with bright ideas. People with vigor. People that are committed. People that are sensitive to the plight of the citizenry. The governor, like my friend has said, has done his best. But it can't be everywhere. That's why he needed the commissioners. Have these commissioners performed? Yesterday I was telling you about criticizing other ministers, what of our own? So let us speak the truth. The governor should dissolve this cabinet and bring in new people, fresh blood, fresh ideas, fresh thinking, and those that are committed. Full stop.
All right. Thank you very much.
We will pretend that we are working. When there is no motivation, then there's nothing to be done.
All
When
right.
we know that we are there because nobody can change us.
All
We are
right.
the best, that we are not the best.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Comrade at Kamba Awa, for your contribution there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Michael, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
My name is Solomon. I'm calling from you.
Go ahead, Solo.
Yeah, Utweko has spoken with me. I'm residing at this Uyo. Number 3 with this. My sister, there is Potholes here. So he didn't mention the street also. So what he's saying is true. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and for confirming what he has said. At least that's good. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Calling from here. Good morning, Otweko.
Good morning, sir.
I want to say that it is not even proper to always say that when the job that is substandard is done, that they do it because of those who came to work, or they tend to want to do the work. I want to believe that avoid is very small, let me say so, for the governor to be able to also know what is being done. For instance, he can go to those
places of potholes that must have that money has been released to repair. And if it is done with substandard items, we should try to call the people to order. I want to say that if the governor's office is constructed and is not constructed well, the governor will be aware of that. And I want to use this opportunity to tell us that none of these politicians, starting from the councillor that gives a substandard project to themselves, go and look at the houses they build for themselves. But when it has to do with the public project, they will do the way they like. Either they consume the money and leave the things like that, or they do substandard job to the public. And when we speak, we just speak like that. When, for instance, when Franklin Song goes to the site, you see the job. What is being done subsequently? These people, those that they eat our money and give us substandard of your job, afraid to do the job for the footage.
All right, Joe, wrap it up.
It's even going for investigation. Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you, Joe. Let me begin to squeeze in messages at this juncture. There's one that was sent. It says, of course, it was sent to Mr. Franklin, though, saying, good morning, Franklin. Gutters in Akai Tiam Street have filled up, and the state government has abandoned the remedial evacuation work they started. New drainage should be constructed to contain the volume of water from Akpanande Market that empties into Akai Tiam Street, making the street impassable for commuters. There are pictures also to justify what this person is saying. They also sent in pictures. And this one says, good morning, Mr. Franklin. Gutters in Akai Tiam. Okay, same thing. Same person. Or is it? Okay, let me just go ahead and read. Said, gutters in Akai Tiam are filled up, and the state government has abandoned the remedial evacuation that started. The drainage should be constructed to contain the volume of water from Akpanande Market that empties into the Akai Tiam Street, making the street impassable. And of course, it says you're doing a good job. Okay, so the pictures are there. For people who live around that area, you can check it out. You see, some people may not exactly like the truth, but that's what it is. I mean, if people are not working, they are not working. If people are working, they are working. So if people are complaining about this issues, I think it should be investigated. Another one here says, good morning, Group Captain. Most times, people don't understand what these drivers go through on the road. From loading point in Port Harcourt to destination in Iyo, okay, they pay all the checkpoints. Maybe the driver has like, okay, they're talking about the accident. I'm sure, Twickom, you heard about that accident. A truck that, rammed into a place and killed a lawyer and two people. It was an accident. It was reported, even captured in the Bangor newspaper, that soldiers were chasing the truck driver and they rammed into a place and killed some persons. I'm already seeing that the casualty figure must have increased beyond the 3 that the papers are reporting. So that's also a situation that that particular caller, person is bringing to our attention. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Your name, please.
This is Blessing from you.
Blessing, you're welcome.
What a place I have said.
Go ahead.
The road is not done, no. It's very bad. Even if it's not mentioned, we call it Query Road. That place is in Motorino.
Yeah, we lost that call there. Hello, good morning. Hello, caller, good morning. No, really, got time. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
My name is Richard. I'm calling from Ely.
Richard, go ahead, please.
Franklin.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
I want to thank Mr. Franklin for the good work that he has done so far. And I want to inform him that the road that links to the Ring Road 3 that links to the Nest of Champions Stadium, that road, we have a pothole there. So I want to, when you enter by Norgo, when you track a little from Norgo, you will find a very big ditch in that place. So I want to inform the authority to please come and fix that place. Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much. Continue with messages still before we go ahead with calls. This one said, okay, that's the messages coming in. I think another person here sent messages with pictures as well. People are sending messages alongside pictures. It says, good morning, Captain and Twickom. Please, it's the state of the road from Ikorakban, Abia Junction, Ikoriko, Ikorakban, Edu, Ebuyo, Ikoritak, to Afarafion. Please, the government should come and help us. Pictures also accompanying that particular message. We'll be back. Stay tuned.